Hello there guys and welcome back to my channel for live reactions and player rating live streams following Chelsea 1, Everton 1. And to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, I just can't be asked anymore. Like, we're awful on the one hand. On the other hand, how on earth have all our strikers all at once, basically, caught the Rona? Like, literally, all at once. Like, you know, Liverpool have people out for being Van Dijk, other players. At least they're in different positions, man. We have everybody we have, essentially, in the striker position is out with the Rona or awaiting test results. Who the hell even knows anymore? Like, Charity FC is so real. Like, we talk about our strikers can't finish. Yeah, they can't. But can we talk about that? The fact that our defenders conceded against this Everton team? Like, I don't think we've ever played against the worst Everton side ever. Well, probably not ever, but that I can remember anyway. And we conceded against these lot. I mean, in my opinion, not a free kick from which they scored. So is that our fault? Well, partly, I guess, but also the ref's fault. But then what is Saul doing? Why was Saul even on the pitch? Sorry, Thomas Tuchel. Like, I love you. But why? Like, because Saul came on for Alonso. We're like, okay, Saul was playing left wing back. But no. Pulisic was playing left wing back. And Saul was playing up front. The guy who's never scored a goal for us. I know Tuchel keeps saying he's good at finishing. We've not seen it yet, though. Who we do know is actually good at finishing, or by not good at much else, is Marcos Alonso. So if you're just going to throw random people up front and put Pulisic at left wing back, surely you might as well have just put Alonso up top. Because why not at that point? Like, what's the difference? Like, obviously, no criticism to Tuchel for, you know, Lukaku being out, Havertz being out, Hudson-Odoi being out, Timo bloody Werner being out. Like, you know, Werner, Hudson-Odoi and Lukaku actually haven't caught the Rona, and Kai Havertz awaiting a test result today. But obviously, we also have to go back to the finishing. Like, in the first 20 minutes, should have been 3-0 up. And then, God knows how Mount doesn't score that. Like, we can talk about Pickford's reactions if all you bloody want. Essentially, just shot at his leg, right? He shot at his leg. And he scored later. And he scored a decent goal. But still, why can we never be just out of sight? Like, essentially, I don't care that everybody's injured or out, right? I don't care. Are you trying to tell me that these players on the pitch today couldn't have won against bloody Everton? Of course they could have. Of course they bloody could have, but just nothing is going our way. And that's why I said, I CBA anymore. Like, honestly, I CBA. I can't be bothered. What is this? What is this? Like, you people always tell me I have an Alonso agenda. Alonso wasn't even half bad today. Alonso wasn't even half bad. It's definitely not Alonso's fault, is it? As you can see, I'm already joined by Clutch. Con should be joining us at any moment, whenever he turns up. Hopefully he does turn up. But, Clutch, thank you for coming. As always, of course, especially after these results. I appreciate it. But what's going on, man? Like, what's the feeling right now? Like, is it just, okay, all our strikers are out, so kind of what do we expect? But at the same time, it's like, what are we doing?
I would like to start with, I don't blame Tuchel for the people that he has to put out there. I do not blame him at all for that. But what I do blame him for is when we put people out on this pitch, like a Pulisic, if you're going to play him at false nine, my biggest problem today is why is Pulisic acting or being told to be played like he's a hold-up striker, just sitting on the lines. There's no movement. He was never asked to come back. And what is Pulisic meant to do? That he's good at dribbling. Why is he playing a hold-up striker? Why is he playing up top and basically just trying to run the lines? Why is that his instruction? Personally, I don't think Tuchel knows how to use our front three. I really don't. I think that is where his fault comes from. And I'm so frustrated because in the summer, I was like, we need to have an option that isn't the back three option. We need to figure that out. That needs to be the number one thing we think of. Because then I'm being told, hey, no, we can't do that because, I mean, look at our defensive record. It was so good. And at the time, sure. But that's not an excuse anymore. Our defensive record's out the window. And we're letting in goals left and right against an Everton team who didn't have Richarlison, didn't have Calvert-Lewin, didn't have Demarai Gray, or who scored? I don't even know who the guy who scored is. I don't know his name.
Bloody fake Braithwaite from Barcelona.
I don't even think that was Braithwaite from Barcelona. That's the point. Oh, yeah, fake Braithwaite.
Exactly,
yeah.
fake Braithwaite.
I don't understand this. I mean, if if you were going to use Pulisic as a false nine, which we know doesn't work, and if it does work, you have to have people who want to drive to the byline and put the ball in. That's the only way it's going to work. Why aren't you putting Mount there or something? Because at least what he does is drop back and receives the ball anyway. That's what he wants to do. I don't understand how we came to the tactics today, and I think it's not Tuchel's fault for who we had to put out there, but it is his fault for the way we were set up on the pitch. And I think we need to fix this. And I honest to God think we need to drop one of the competitions because we need some time. We need a week to start figuring things out. Because 2 days, one day in training, it's just not enough. It's just not enough anymore.
It isn't. It's so tough for me because we can talk about tactics, but then you can talk about, well, tactics start in minute 1. And within 20 minutes, we should have been so far out of sight that Tuchel should have had everything right if we could just finish. But we couldn't. And then the longer the game goes on, and bloody this commentator we was here, and I'll get to Con in half a second, commentator we was watching with, literally said when the game kicked off, the longer Everton can hold a 0-0, the bigger chance they have of getting a result here. Obviously, we got a 1-0 eventually. How much later was it that we conceded? 5 minutes? 7 minutes? 10 minutes? Something like that. From a free kick, again, in my opinion, that's not a free kick. But it's just, I don't know. Like, I don't even know who to be annoyed at, who to be upset about. Like, I honestly, I don't know anymore. Con, thank you for joining us. Again, I just said this to Clutch a second ago, especially after these results. I really, really do appreciate it. But where's your head at? Like, is it just what can we expect? We're literally all our strikers all of a sudden out? Or is it just what we've come to expect from Chelsea in the last few weeks? Or like, because we have the same problem every time. Like, we create chances for a while in a game, then we don't take them. And then all of a sudden we start to lose it a little bit. We get a goal at some point. Then we concede a stupid goal, and then we just cannot do anything anymore to save our lives. Yes, against Leeds, we sorted it out, but that was penalties. You can talk about whether they're soft penalties, deserved penalties, doesn't matter. We needed those moments. And also, it doesn't help that Jordan Brody Pickford just picked his one good game a year that he has against us today. Like, again, Con, where's your head at? Because I don't even know where mine's at anymore.
It's basically what you said, mate. It's the same stuff for the last few seasons now, innit? It doesn't matter. These attackers ain't good enough, bro. We've given enough time. There's multiple. There's multiple in there who are just not good enough, and they're showing it. Bored. It's just the same crap. And we need to get rid of some of these players as well. Saul needs to be binned. Barkley needs to go away. Do you know what? As bad as Alonso is, he wasn't even that bad today. I don't feel. I don't even think it was. Bro, these attackers are the garbage, man. They're garbage. Like, people always say, do we create enough chances for them, etc.? No, we do. We do. Their finishing is horrible. Actually horrible. Pulisic, Werner, maybe even someone like Kai, Ziyech. Put Mountain back in midfield. Because all of them piss me off when they start an attack. Typical of Mount, innit? Like, has a poor game, he scores, he's missed multiple chances. It's just typical, innit, of that Mount. It's just the inconsistencies, bro. All of them are inconsistent. I'm tired of it. We just need to get bags, man. Why can't we have a Salah? Why can't we have a Mane? You know? Why can't we have a Mahrez? Why can't we have a player like that we know who's going to come in clutch for us? Who's not just going to bottle every time? Why can't we have that player, man? We're Chelsea Football Club. We want to compete with these two teams. But our attack's nowhere near. We've made enough excuses. How many more excuses can we make for these? I'm tired of it, Laurenz, bro. You can hear my voice. I'm just tired. I just can't be bothered anymore.
No, I agree. It's the problem. Like, on the one hand, I mean, Fantasy PJ Door saying Matt was our best player, and it might have been. It doesn't really matter who our best player was, essentially. I mean, I know we're going to do player ratings in a minute, but in terms of what we're discussing right now, it doesn't really matter. The guy scored 4 goals in 4 games. Like, scored 4 games in a row. Not always enough in all of these games, but there's only so much you can ask from him. Like, there's only so much you can ask from anybody. If Lukaku scored 4 goals in 4 games, I'd be like, well, don't have a go at Lukaku. He's doing his job. Even if Mason is like missed his chance, he did it later at least. But we can talk about a finishing all we want. We conceded against Everton. No one conceded against Everton, and especially with how they played today, they didn't park a bus. They didn't park 2 buses. They went to bloody Heathrow, stole all the Airbuses they could find, and parked them at Stamford Bridge. And we still managed to concede against them. Like, it's all well and good talking about strikers, and I'm not having to go at you, Con, but it's all well and good talking about, we can't finish this, we can't finish that. Yeah, no, we can't. But, and as much as these guys should be better, we have bloody 4 attackers out missing, 2 or 3 of which were probably, meant to start today. But the fact that we cannot keep a clean sheet against anybody, well, I swear we could start the same back 3 against same back 5 against bloody Chesterfield, and we'd still concede. Like, where has our defense gone? I mean, there was the title literally of the preview yesterday. Where has it gone? Because we cannot defend anything. Anything. Long ball, screwed. Free kick, screwed. I mean, 2 weeks ago, we were sort of hyping up Anthony Barry, and I'm not having a go at Anthony Barry, but how great a set pieces are. We didn't get, once Ruben hit it with his back, the ball, instead of actually doing anything with it. But we are so under threat every time we play from set pieces now. Why? Where is this guy? I don't understand. Like, we can blame Chile all we want, but it's not Chile being on. We can not blame you, but Chile being out, we can blame that all we want. But Chile being out has nothing to do with us not being capable of defending set pieces anymore. Kovacic, Kante, these guys being out has nothing to do with us defending set pieces. And yeah, the goal was Saul's fault. Yeah, it was. But the goal is Saul's fault because where's the structure? Like, who came up with the idea to put Saul far post where most likely the crosses come either front post or far post? The likelihood of them being in the middle is rather slim. Well, who decided that he went to the far post? Like, what was that? I don't understand. Again, Connor's not wrong with criticizing the finishing. Of course, we should have finished much, 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 much better. But we scored a goal against the completely decimated Everton. They basically had no attack, and we still conceded. Like, every now and again, we could just keep a clean sheet. We haven't kept a clean sheet in 6 games. Like, and James' fault, hence I disagree because I don't think it's a foul. But again, Reece James, the one thing, I never criticized him for being defensively poor. I criticized him for sometimes giving silly fouls away. And unfortunately, he did that again today on one occasion. For the other part of the game, he was the only one doing anything, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. But I honestly, again, I just don't know who to be mad at. Like, we don't even have a squad at the moment. Like, again, why? How is it all our forwards at once? Like, we should, from today on, Chelsea should make a completely forbid it that anybody that plays in the same position as each other has any contact to each other. Because if they do catch the Rona and then they give it to the other guy, well, I'm not doing that again. Like, no. And also, why? I don't even know what to say anymore. Clutch. Anything you want to add before we get into player ratings? Because I don't even know. My brain is out, honestly.
I mean, I agree with all of you. I mean, finishing is a problem. Personally, I thought, we don't have time to work on things. We don't have time to figure things out when we're struggling, and we have been for about almost a month now. And the finishing it's not a new problem. We've had it for almost a year now. Since Tuchel arrived, the finishing's been the problem. Essentially,
we've had that problem since bloody Conte's second season.
Yeah, and I really think some of the blame has to be put on Tuchel for the way we went into it. I don't think all of it, because obviously we have 4 attackers out, and yes, 2 of those might have been ones that we were playing. But I didn't see any change. It's just we kept going and kept going. And, before we even conceded against them, I seen Daly put on Twitter that we needed to sub Aspioff to put in Chalobah because it was he was just being like overrun on that side, and that's where it came from. So I mean, I don't know. I think there was a lot of problems today, and I don't think it's just one person. I don't think it's one player. I think it's the team as a general consensus. Like, everybody has a fault. Tuchel has a fault. Pulisic, James, Ziyech, Mount, all of them have a fault. And to say Mount was by far our best player, the dude lost the ball 21 times. You can't tell me he's our best player if you lose the ball 21 times. You just can't tell me that.
Well, it depends on how many times the other people lost the ball, I guess.
He was by far the most. We'll put it that way.
Fair dues. Well, for me, it's because we talk about finishing and we talk about Thomas Tuchel. When I see the fact that we're playing Pulisic up front, you can question that as much as you want. Obviously, with the players we had unavailable, shall we say, maybe was the only logical option to pick, I guess. But how about we don't play one high cross after the other when Pulisic is our striker? It's just a suggestion. But I'm not going to... This isn't even a question at Thomas Tuchel, to be honest, because this is a question at the players on the pitch. Like, you're human beings. You have a brain just like I do. So, where in said brain of yours has the idea to cross to Pulisic against 2 or 3 central defenders of Everton? Where did that idea come from and sound like a good idea? Even if the manager says so, tell him, but it's Pulisic. Even if he's good at jumping, right? I'm not saying never cross the ball to Pulisic, but not just cross after cross after cross after cross. Like, what is this? It's like crossing central again, like Frank a year ago, man. Like, honestly, I don't even know. I don't even know what to give Mendy. The guy touched the ball twice, I swear, and conceded. Could he do anything about it? I don't even know. No, he couldn't. Of course he could. But what rating do I give him? 5? 6? Who gives a shit? You give him any NA because he didn't have to do anything and we still conceded. That's what I'm saying. All right, let's get to the defenders. Aspie, shocking. Stop playing him. Why is he playing? Stop it. He was shit against Senate. He was shit against Leeds. And he starts again. I don't understand. Why? How? Where have you come to this conclusion? I don't care. He's the captain. If he's shit, he's shit. And then we actually had an option in Christensen. Like, we actually had an option. And we still started him. I just cannot comprehend it. And then we had to waste the sub. When we were chasing a goal, we wasted our last sub on bringing a defender on for another defender. Sorry. Remember how everyone lost their shit at Sarri when he did that? Again, I'm not trying to say we should all now have a go at Tuchel. But, sorry, why? Like, I know we had nobody on the bench. But at least, like, don't change like for like. What's the point in that then? Do something useful. And bringing Chalobah for Aspie certainly isn't fucking useful. Flip's sake, pissing me off. I don't even know. Like, usually, talking about this kind of acts like therapy for me a little bit. And then by the time I'm done streaming after these games, when we have a bad result, I'm kind of good again. But today, I'm just making myself more and more and more angry. I don't really know. Con, maybe I was harsher with 4 and Aspie. I don't even know. What do you reckon?
Gotta be honest, bro. I don't really give a shit. As much as I think Thiago Silva really good, decent today. Aspie, I love him. He's Mr. Chelsea, isn't he? But he's been. I don't get why we're playing him. I don't understand it. I just don't. I'm so annoyed, Laurenz. I'm sorry. I'm so like I'm really annoyed, but in such a mood where I just can't be bothered. Like, I'm in between them. That like Aspie, Loftus today. I mean, do you know, Reece James, like, he was good, but he just, bro, I'm so annoyed. Oh, my God. Aspie, bro, yeah, I'll give him a 4, bro. I can't think of what he did. Maybe putting a cross for Pulisic, which makes no sense. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I was shouting, as it's his typical cross, and he was lining it up, and you could see it a mile away. And I'm like, bro, do you know it's not Morata up front? Why did you even think to play that cross? Like, sorry, I don't understand. I honestly don't understand. But Clutch, what do you reckon? Would you agree with our 4, or do we think we're being a tad harsh?
I don't think so. I mean, it's his legs are going, and we can tell that it's not even close. He doesn't really offer much an attack anymore. Sure, I even watched him get beat on a couple of one-on-ones today, which that's not him. That's not the Aspie I know. Like, he's better off, and I hate to say this because it's not really nice, but I think we need to let him go and use that money elsewhere this summer. I really do. I think we need to figure it out because there's other problems.
There's a chance we're losing so many players. We need to make sure we don't lose any extra.
I get it, but if you even take whatever Aspie was going to make next year, just give it to Rudiger, I'm completely okay with that. Just whatever you got to do to get Rudiger. Keep it that way if that's how you got to do it. If you want to add Aspie's 120 or whatever he makes and give it to Rudiger's already 150 that you're offering him, give him 270. I don't care. Just keep Rudiger. Let Aspie go. Four's fine.
Fair. I mean, honestly, I will say one thing in slight defense of Aspie. For the last 2 games, for some odd, not odd reason, I kind of get it, but today I got it less than the last game. Reece James is super central in terms of essentially playing midfield rather than wing back a lot of the game. And there's no criticism to Reece James. I'm sure that's instruction, otherwise he wouldn't be doing that. But when Aspie's already struggling as it is, obviously Reece not being at this right wing back spot all the time makes the whole job for Aspie even more difficult. And for me, it's not even just the legs. It's rarely that he's just getting outpaced. For me, it's like he's losing headers that he shouldn't be losing. The communication between him and Reece is awful. These people couldn't even sort out who takes the throw-ins all game long. Every time we had a throw-in on the right, they were basically arguing who's taking the throw-in. Like, can we at least know who's taking our throw-in? Like, is that too much to ask? Sorry. Like, what is that? I do. Honestly, I mean, there's not much to criticize about Thiago and Rudiger, in all honesty. I mean, Rudiger had a couple of dodgy passes, which put us into more difficult situations than he had to. But he was also the one that set up Mount's sitter in the first half. Which, again, why does Rudiger have to be in the box to set that up? Crazy. But Thiago, again, a little bit like Aspie. What did you even do? I'm going to say 5. I know you're all going to tell me that's way too low. But, bro, I've had enough. We've had 6. We couldn't keep a clean sheet in 6 games. We concede against fucking everybody. It doesn't matter who it is. Everton are so shit. And even when they're not just shit, even all their best still shit players were all missing, and we still conceded. And he's the commander of the defense. And it's a set piece, and yes, it's sold. But man, sort yourself out and fix that soul. Doesn't make the mistake, man. Footballers are nothing but marionettes. If you tell them what to do, they can do it. Look at Everton. None of these people have brains. It's just Benitez telling them, all right, get the Airbus from bloody Heathrow and park it. That's what it is. But we can't do that, apparently. Not even for a silly free kick. So that's why I'm not even giving Thiago Silva a high rating, because he's meant to marshal that defense. And for the last 6 games, even though he hasn't played all of them, we've not kept a clean sheet. So that's not good enough. It's not good enough. Don't care who it is. I don't care how much I love him. It's not good enough. Clutch, what you reckon?
I'm sitting here and I'm looking at his touches, and by far the most, with 161, with 141 passes, with a 95% accuracy. It's going to be a little bit harder for me to give him a bad rating, but I completely understand what you say. Because, I mean, for a guy who has been playing as long as he is as smart as he is at defense, and we're still conceding goals. I mean, I don't... Maybe it isn't his fault that we're conceding in different ways like that, because it's not individually on him. But, I'm going to give him a 7. I love him, and I think... defensively, it wasn't really his fault. I think we set up poorly on set pieces for whatever reason. I maybe it's just lack of time on the training pitch. I don't know. I'm going to give him a 7, but I completely understand what you're saying.
Fair. Con, where do you sit?
I'm gonna have to go with Clutch here. I get what you mean, though, Lawrence. No, honestly, I do get what you mean.
No,
I just feel it's a bit harsh on Thiago Silva because Saul's crap, man. Whoever scouted him, is it that Scott McLaughlin? Get him out of the club, man. I'm bored of this guy. This guy's scouting. He's awful, man. He's been tracking Saul for 2 years. Saul's been awful for the last 2 years. And this is who you recommend to us. Clown, man. What a clown. I can't be bothered, honestly. So I feel a bit bad for Thiago Silva. Him and Rudiger today were good. Like, Rudiger as well going forward today he's doing attacker's jobs. It's as simple as that. He did it against Leeds, he did it today. And we're letting this guy go, man. I can't be bothered with this football club, honestly.
No, it's true. I'll stick with you, Con. Rudiger, same as Thiago in your head, a 7, or what would you say?
I think a 7 as well, because I think he made a few more mistakes than Thiago, but he did more going forward. So 7 for him as well.
Okay. Con, Clutch, sorry.
I think he was good in the ways he's normally good. I mean, especially when he was tracking runners back and whatnot. Like, recently his defensive work hasn't been as good as we have come to expect from him. My issue with him today is when we did make that sub into Saul, he kept trying to play that stupid little ball to, like, with Saul's back to the goal as a hold-up striker type deal. He kept trying to play that ball. I've seen him play that ball probably 10 times, and every time it got knocked away. And I wanted to scream every time I seen him try that, because I mean we knew it wasn't going to work. I don't know why we thought Saul was going to be the guy to hold
See,
that
it's
ball
weird.
up right
I
there.
didn't even see those passes, but I was just so annoyed that maybe I just didn't look properly.
Yeah. But I think overall his play was really good. Like I said, him and Thiago Silva probably had by far double the most touches on the team. He had like 120, and his passing was also like 90 something. So I think I can't really
120. You said
124 touches for Rudiger, 106 passes with 90.6% accuracy.
that's a lot of touches, but fair. So what rating would you give him?
6.5.
And it's another 6.5 because I was going to go 6 for Rudiger, but sure. Let's just move on. Sorry if the hype isn't quite there today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you understand if you're Chelsea fans, and if you support somebody else, then you probably also understand, but you're a prick. But anyway, we have pretty much 300 people watching, which I do appreciate a lot. And honestly, maybe some of you do, but if you can't imagine how, in a way, hard it is to sit here and not go and do something else after watching that game, but sit here and talk about this, less so for me, because at least it's my own decision. I guess it's also Content Club's decision, but at least it's my own channel. Content Club, honestly, just out of the kindness of the heart to me and to you people. So smash the like button, please. Honestly, cheer us up a little bit. It's just one click of a button. It doesn't cost you any money. It doesn't cost you any time. And subscribe. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers. Every new subscriber counts, so please hit that big red subscribe button. I'd honestly massively appreciate it. But let's move on. Let's do slight positive. Marcos Alonso, he wasn't even half bad. There's a few decent moments. Yeah, sure, sometimes he was a bit shit, but, it's Alonso, so I'm not exactly going to be upset at that. It's half decent. Half decent. I can't even lie. I'm giving him a 6 from me. And when I say 6 for Alonso, honestly, that means a lot. But again, my question is, why did Saul have to come on to be a striker? Just leave Alonso. Alonso's taller, probably better at finishing. Yeah, slower, but Saul has so little confidence that it's pointless anyway. We can talk about, I don't even want to go into Saul as a person that, well, not even just as a person, but this is not Saul actually as a footballer. This is Saul as a footballer who's played 3 games, been shit every time bar once, obviously has zero confidence. It's not it. But then, sorry, why is he coming on? I don't care how little players we have on the bench. Just leave the players on the pitch then. But you don't need to do that. Sorry, I don't get it. But I know you're the opposite of a big fan of Alonso Con, but did y'all think he was actually half decent today?
Yeah, I don't think he was bad at all. When I think of the poor players today, Alonso don't come to my head. And don't get me wrong, when he has a bad game, I'll grill him for it. But when he's actually all right, I'll give him praise as well. I think he was all right today. Almost recreated that goal. What team was it? Leeds, when he pulled it near post to Mount.
Yeah,
it was decent. I don't know why we didn't leave him on. I'm guessing it's because Tuchel doesn't want to risk any sort of injury, because he did have a problem versus Senate, didn't he? That's why he didn't play that game. So for my guess, that's
he came on off against West Ham, didn't they? Say his back hurt or something. Yeah,
so I think it's just to not risk. So yeah, no, I think he was alright today. Reece James, Marcos Alonso, so 6 for me.
Fair. Clutch, would you go along with that? Would you go slightly lower?
I go along with the 6. I don't think he was our problem today. I mean, it wasn't like he was involved a ton, but when he was, he didn't make those mistakes like we were talking about yesterday. The one-touch passing wasn't terrible. He wasn't giving the ball away as much as he normally does. I think he had less than 6 or something like that as far as possession loss. So for a guy who, within the last 4 games of him playing, almost had 60 possession losses within those combined, I think he didn't offer us a lot, but I do think he was better than a lot of our players. I'd go with the 6.
Fair. I will say one thing, and this is going to sound like an Alonso agenda again, but the fact that Alonso looked half decent just shows how bad Everton are. They didn't even try to exploit his side. That's how bad they are. Benitez is so bad, he didn't even understand how bad Alonso is. He didn't even try to exploit it. And I tweeted during the game, Alonso's actually been pretty decent so far. And someone replied, yeah, because no one's attacked him yet. I'm like, yeah, that's why he's been half decent. And it's true. That's why he was half decent. But again, it shows how bad Everton are and how much it pisses me off that we drop points again. What is this? How many more bloody 1-1 draws are we going to have at home? Piss off, man. Honestly, piss off. Reece James, tad better than Alonso, got the assist, but should miss them. For me, I know Mason but because Mason, for me, and I know people are going to criticize this now, but I actually like Reece James more than Mason Mount. But Mason kind of struggles to get the ball out of his feet and therefore get any power on his shot. The fact that Reece put his shot after like third minute or whatever it was, he didn't even hit the side netting. He essentially put it 2 yards wide from 5 yards out. How has he done that then? He scored so many goals this season. He's been so amazing. Again, who knows? We might score second minute and then concede an equaliser fifth and then draw 1-1 anyway. So obviously this is not like, oh, this is Reece James' fault now. But still, pissed me off, right? So I had to mention it. So for me, 6.5, because, I mean, yeah, you could debate a 7, but if it were... Should we put I don't want to give Reece 7, but I think he was more than 0.5 better than Alonso. Shall we put Alonso to a 5.5? Or would you guys go with the 7 for Reece?
I don't even know. Do you know that voice she did, and he was like, oh, that's me right now. Like that.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't know, because I think Alonso's deserving a 6, but I think you're spot on with the Reece James thing. He played so narrow as well at times as well. Like right at the end, he was providing no width for us. There was Chalobah there, and at one point, Jorginho was screaming for somebody to go out wide. Reece James was so narrow, man. Just go out wide for a little bit, Reece, man. You got a good width. There's tons of players in the box. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
To be honest, I back it. Stick Alonso with the 6 and give Reece a 6.5 anyway. It wasn't more than 0.5 better. I can't even lie. Would you agree on a 6.5, Con?
No, I think that's a spot on. I think if he didn't get the assist, I would have gave him probably a 6, 5.5.
Yeah, fair. Clutch, what about you?
I'd agree. I mean, he lost like half of his ground duels today, which is something we don't see Reece James normally do. He's a big, strong guy, so him to lose that, like I think it was like out of 13, he won 6 or something like that, or I don't know, but then again, he created 6 key chances. But yeah, 6.5.
I mean, we could easily do him a 7 or give Alonso a 5.5 and leave Reece at a 6.5. Does it matter? Probably not. Clutch, I'll stick with you. Jorginho, what do you reckon? Looked fresher today than he did the last 2 games. Played more. See, that's the annoying thing. At halftime, and I know a lot of people disagree with this, especially people in the stadium, it seemed. I didn't think our first half was bad. Yeah, the finishing was lacking. But I actually thought we played a lot better than we've done for weeks, to be honest with you. I think it's probably the best we played since United, in all honesty. Maybe Burnley, right? And Jorginho played a lot of decent ball. So he was half decent. I'd probably give Georgie a 7, but maybe I'm just being biased. Nice. I don't even know, guys. What would you say, Clutch?
I'd go along with the 7 for Jorginho. I thought Jorginho was actually really good today. I think a lot of his passes were just, it was unfair to him, because I think he played one to Ziyech too that Ziyech should have buried. Unfortunately, the finishing just wasn't there. I think it was Ziyech. I know there was one to James, and I think there was one to Ziyech later. I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah, unfortunately for him, I think he controlled the midfield. He was also up there in touches, I think, with 130 or something like that. So between him, Rudiger, and Thiago, I think they were controlling it very well. Just unfortunate that we didn't make anything of the control that we did have. How much possession did we have? 80-some% or something like that? I don't remember, but
crazy amounts anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, I think he was one of the bigger parts of that. And I agree with you. I don't think we were terrible in the first half. I think we just a couple of moments where we probably should have put the ball away. We didn't. But, I guess that's the game these days. So I'd go with the 7. I'd give him a 7, yeah.
And his ball for Reece, by the way, that Reece should have scored from, was unbelievable. Con, would you agree on the 7?
I want to give him an 8 today, to be honest. I think he was our best player. Not trying to be biased when I'm saying this, but he did his job to perfection today. He really did. He even took out the player when he needed to. No, I think he's really good, and I know he's a lot of people would say he passed sideways today and backwards, but in front of him there was no movement at all.
That's not even true.
Yeah. The movement in front of him today was awful at times as well. He was literally screaming at players to move. It was so bad. I think he was really good today, Georgie. I think, like you said, the first half, I don't think it was that bad. We just didn't finish. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. It's like you cut off from Jorginho Loftus-Cheek and look upwards. That's the problem in that first half. Them 3. But actually, no. Do it at an angle so you get Reece James in there as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I stick with you. Ruben, what'd you make of him today?
Dodgy first half. Second half, he tried a lot more. It's hard. I don't think he was great today, but at the same time, I don't want to be unfair because he did his job. Like when he's playing in the pivot, first and foremost, you've got to be good defensively, and he was that today. I feel. I think he was quite solid. The lack of movement as well in front of him. See, he did try. That's the thing. He did try. You saw when Barkley come on and how much worse we were. You can see the difference between the two. And when Barkley did that stupid step over and gave it away, don't get me started on that crap. But I think looking at the ratings, I'd say a 6. I think he's on par with Alonso today.
Fair. Isn't that interesting? You know how we had like our back and forth against Watford about Ruben, and today even I might have gone like 5, 5.5. It's interesting. No, I don't even think you're wrong, but it's just interesting. Yeah. Ruben is weird, and I know people look at it that way. Oh, he gave the ball away here and he overhit that pass. He does do that too much, and it does annoy me as well. But sometimes I have to ask people the question: do you see anybody else playing these passes that Ruben overhits them? But I don't even see anybody else trying them. Jorginho today, but the last 3 games Jorginho didn't. But I don't see Ziyech trying these passes. To be honest, I don't see Mason trying these passes. I don't see James trying these passes. I mean, Pulisic, the way I played today, can't be trying these passes. But again, he doesn't pull them off, which is still not good then. But at least he's trying them, I'm just hoping that at some point it will click a bit more and he will complete those passes. But to be honest with you, I stick probably with 5.5. I think there was a few too many moments. I mean, the Cruyff turn was lovely, sure. But also, someone teach the guy how to head the ball, please, because he should have already had 3 or 4 goals this season from corners. And again today, like, how can you mistime it so badly that your head is down and the ball hits your back or the top of your shoulder while your head is down as you try to head it? Like, your timing must be so bad for that to happen. So I don't understand how he does it. But yeah, I go 5.5. You go 6. So we're somewhere in between. So it depends on you, Clutch. Then, what do you reckon?
I want to give him a 6 because I think Con was spot on when he was talking about like the job that he was meant to do. He did well. Just unfortunate when you have to go forward and his decision making is not the greatest. I mean, I think you have Jorginho who can make those progressive passes, and he does it really well when he decides to do it. But for the last couple games, he didn't do it. And then you kind of rely on Ruben to kind of do it, and I don't think that's Ruben's game necessarily. I think progressing the ball up the field is where he is. I think if you get like a nice little mix of when you put Kovacic in, you have a nice little mix of Jorginho and Ruben because you get that guy who can go forward, but you also can get that guy who can make the final third pass. And just, I guess, Ruben wasn't really on that part today, but I think defensively he was really good. But I also can agree with your point that like his heading is just not the best. But, you know, I'm going to give him a 6. No, I'm going to change it down to a 5.5. I'm going to go for a 5.5.
Fair. Well, then I have to lower that to a 5.5. But fair. Yeah, I mean, it's something, and we'll touch on something later on when we talk about Tuchel's rating, something that I want to see what you guys think, and I guess also the chat. But we have a super chat here by Tuchelista. Appreciate it a lot, mate, saying Tuchel needs to actually spend some more time coaching our attack and play instead of our defensive setup. Interestingly, at least if you believe him, what he said in interviews is that we barely actually work on defending. Maybe we should a bit more these days. But, I mean, actually, our commentator said apparently that's what we've been working on now. So maybe it's changed. But until recently, he said we barely do anything defensively, which is good. But we work on attacking all the bloody time. It's just because the attacking play isn't really the problem. Again, look at the amount of chances we had today. Today, even I would agree, a lot of them were big chances because some of the headers, like Rudiger's header, for example, that was an easy catch for Pickford. That kind of chance, and then someone says 23 chances, 1 goal, or shots and 1 goal. Blah, blah, blah. How bad is that? Sure, but if 19 of those are silly headers like that, I don't even count it. Like, it doesn't matter, right? But today, a lot of them were big chances. But we need a finishing coach. Like, just stop letting Drogba travel the world and do all of his fancy shit. Get him in, and all I want him to do is 7 days a week. Well, 6 days, 5 days, the days we don't play. Just all you do with everyone that plays not centre-back, everyone that plays not centre-back and goalkeeper, just finish all day long. Just teach them. I don't care how much their feet hurt by the end of it. Just teach them. Because I'd rather their feet hurt and they actually know how to score a goal than what we're seeing. Because it's pissing me off. It's pissing me off. But I appreciate the donation. Obviously, if anybody else wants to add anything, please do use the super chat function. It's always massively appreciated. Let's move on to the front three. And Pulisic is a difficult one today because obviously not a position where I want him to be played in, especially against a team that's parking 3 Airbuses. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, again, fair enough. Maybe Tuchel didn't really have much of another choice. Who else do you play up front with the players we had available? Fair enough. But so I'm not going to be too critical of Pulisic. But I can't even lie. I thought Ziyech was decent for the first half, but then in the second half, I swear the guy got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Like in the first half, he did that little let it go through his legs, dummy the defender, ran around him like Timo Werner did against Southampton on the Lampard last season. Lovely, beautiful. Sure, they had his one shot, which I'm still not sure whether it was a cross or a short cross that slipped over his foot, or was it a weird shot? But again, if you're shooting, why did you shoot? There was one moment where Ziyech should have just played in Ruben. Lovely position of an angle to play it far corner for Ruben. If he just plays him in, Ziyech went for the shot, put it slightly wide. Hey, it happens. But he should have played him in. But was he awful? No, he wasn't. The guy, especially when the few occasions we were hit on a counter-attack, he looked the only body actually bothered to sprint back. Like nobody else could. Not even Reece James could be bothered to sprint back, let alone Aspie. I'm not sure if he can sprint anymore, but he certainly wasn't doing it. But Ziyech was working his bloody socks off. So I know people are going to be critical. I'm gonna give him a 6.5, even though I think he should have played Ruben in, and that's pretty much a guaranteed goal for me. But I'm going to give him 6.5, and I know you guys might be a bit harsh on him, but I don't think it was bad. The second half was bad, yeah, but the first half wasn't bad. So, yeah, I'm going to go 6.5. Clutch, what about you?
I'd probably agree with that. I think Ziyech's first half was really good. My only problem with Ziyech, and it's been something that keeps occurring, and I don't know if it's the system, but we're like the one time that Ziyech really looked good is when him and Pulisic played that. Well, I shouldn't say the one time, he looked good a couple times, but him and Pulisic played that 1-2, but they only played it one time that entire game. So I don't understand why they're not playing that 1-2, because if that's what we've seen out of those two, is they link up pretty well when they do want to link up together, but they haven't wanted to do it a lot. So, but I think other than that, I think he was looked lively. I think whenever you've seen the ball going back the other way, I agree, he was one of the only people sprinting back to try to get it. So, I mean, I think he was pretty good. I'd probably say he was probably the best out of our front three today.
Not sure about that one, but I see what you're saying. It's weird because now I look at these ratings and I'm like, with how I felt after the game, these are all way too high. Except Aspie and Ruben. Everybody else is essentially too high. Kind of. But kind of not. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Con, do you agree on the 6.5 for Hakim, or would you go with something different?
I love him, but I'm giving him a 5. I think he was spot on the first half. I think he was good. I think he was our best player in the first half. Second half, where was he, man? It looked like he just lost his legs. It's basically what happened, man. So I'm going to give him a 5 because I think the first half was like a 6.5 to a 7-ish. Second half was probably like a 3, 4, if I'm being nice. So I'll give him a 5.
Fair. Guess the 6 overall is then. Let's get to Mason Mount. I'm going to give him a 7. He should have scored his chance, but he was the only one that did actually at least score one. Decent finish. I mean, shocking defending from the left back, whoever the left back is. But I mean, awful defending. Even if Alonso did that, I'd be fuming. Because I'm not even that fuming at Alonso after time because I don't even expect more. But that's so bad. Such bad defenders, honestly awful. But I give him, he forced another good save for Pickford, albeit his shot did actually take a deflection. And yes, he should have saved the sitter. Should have scored the sitter, sorry. Maybe I disagree with myself. 6.5. What do you reckon?
I'd give him a 6 as well. I think his goal was good. I think his overall game today weren't that great, to be honest. I think he looked lively. But, I don't think he really did much. He had that shot from distance that got deflected. Not going to give him points for that because it wasn't a great shot.
No,
he
but
missed
at
an
least he
absolute
took the shot and it falls like it could have gone in basically because if that can only happen if you do take the shot. Even if it's a bad shot, it can't physically happen if you don't try.
Yeah, no, of course, but yeah, I'm not in the mood to give him props today for that. Like, I'm just not. I'm sorry, bro.
No, it's fair. Hey, it's fair. I don't think you're like 6.5, 6. You're not exactly.
He kept trying to take players on, and he just weren't beating anyone today. I like Mount as well. Scored in 4 games in a row. He's doing output at least. So I give him a 6, but I don't think overall he was that great.
Fair. Clutch. I mean, you said you probably thought Ziyech was the best player, so I presume you're going to agree on that 6.
Yes, but I mean, I don't understand how, like, I see chat saying he was really good. Like, if you lose the ball 21 times and the next closest is 13 on the team, like, you're not the best player in the front 3. You're just not. I'm sorry. And there was a couple times he should have played in a different player when he went for the shot. I think it was like his first shot of the game when he was wide. I think he had Pulisic making the run. If he would have played that ball just a little bit in front, he probably would have had a goal. But, you know, I mean, I don't really expect much from Pulisic in the false 9 role, so yeah, 6. But I don't think he was.
Seeing this, are we sure we want to give Reece a higher rating than Ziyech and Mount? By the way, we sure about that?
No, I'm not sure actually about that. But then you would have to lower like Alonso down to like a 5, and then James down to like a 5.5. But I will not raise Mount or Ziyech.
Yeah. Con, would you back that? Or do you actually think Reece was better than Mason and Ziyech?
I think Reece was better. Yeah.
Hey, no, then fair. We stick with what we have. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I would have gone 6.5, maybe 7-ish, because he did still score. By the way, just to touch on that, the chance that Clutch mentioned where he dragged it just wide of the far post, his shot. I agree. Maybe he could have crossed that, but I think he would have crossed that if the ball from Reece came quicker and it took too long. My opinion. Pulisic had the back heel flick. Apparently, some people had a go at it. I thought best he could do from that position. Ball came slightly behind him, so what's he going to do? Decent flick. At least went on target. Other than that, I mean, Clutch said it's instruction. I'm not sure I fully back that in terms of instruction, that's why he didn't move more. I think he just didn't move enough. But then also, why is he being put at left wing back? Like, to put Saul up front? Sorry, don't get it. Like, move Pulisic out of the false 9, fair enough. If you want to do that, all good, right? But put him on a wing then. A left wing back? Sorry. Nah, disagree with that. So, for said reason, I almost want to give Pulisic a star rating, which we only do for subs, but I kind of do, because I kind of want to give him a 6 with a star, but an honest rating is probably a 5. I'll let Clutch go last. So, Con, would you reckon? Is 5 fair, or is it harsh, or would you reckon?
I'd give him a 4, to be honest. I think it was really poor. I think it was extremely poor. I don't know what he did to help the team. The only thing I can think of is when he did the turn and then he passed it to Ziyech, then Ziyech shot and he went over the bar. But other than that, I don't know what he did. It was just playing like a little boy today. He was just getting bullied, just going down all the time. I like Pully, but I know his position he's not great in, but where's your dribbles at, man? Like, where's that gone from him? I feel like we just don't see it from Pully anymore.
Like Clutch said earlier, he can't dribble when he's playing up front. Yeah, it's more difficult to get into those positions, but he had those moments, and every time he tried it, he had a heavy touch, or ran into a guy, or fell over in the first contact with anybody. Yeah, he won the free kick every time, which doesn't make it an awful situation for him at all. But it's like, dribbling is only useful if you actually get past people, not if you dribble to get fouled every time. That's why I didn't quite agree with Pice hype Pulisic so much after that Porto game. I'm like, yeah, he won us a lot of fouls, but skip some challenges. That was Hazard's best feature. That is Messi's best feature. They get tackled and they don't fall down every time. But the guy's gone, meaning there's one less defender even about because he's on the floor behind you. And then you keep going. But every time he was on the floor, and again, I would have said 5 because I think a lot of him not being great playing in a position against this super defensive team that doesn't work.
No, but what really annoyed me, bro, is like on Instagram, it was like there's some rumors that I've got coronavirus. The doctor said like my body's too like good for viruses or something like that. Like I can't catch him. The only thing I can get is like USA or some crap like that. Like what was that corny crap, man? Like why?
That's a fake thing. He didn't put that. I actually went and looked. That's not. He didn't put
It's
that.
not. Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, that's fake.
Oh, fair.
He barely even posts on Instagram, so yeah, no, he didn't do that.
Okay.
Clutch has got
Good.
his boy.
Because I was like, sorry, what's he
No, yeah,
saying?
because when I was fuming after I saw that, but no, like, I do feel as a position he's not played in. He hasn't had consistent minutes in it, but questions are going to start to get asked. And a son who loves him, do we keep facilitating him with the injuries, waiting for him to get on form? Questions should start going to get asked of him. I don't think Tuchel rates him, if I'm being honest. I really don't think he does.
But Tuchel needs to sometimes get a finger out his ass, and there's a lot. I don't rate Alonso either. He keeps still playing him. So,
No, I get that, but with Alonso, he kind of has to, bro. There's no Chilwell, And when he did play him over,
at the start of the season when there was no need.
Yeah, bro. But the thing is, Chilwell at the start of the season, he kind of like was suffering kind of a bit of like a depressive sort of state, innit? Like your frame of mind's all about. Like I don't know, bro. Like with Pulisic, you know how much I fanboy him, bro. But I don't know what I'm seeing from him, man. And if he carries on this, bro, he's going to be gone by the summer because it's just not good enough.
Yeah, fair. I mean, Pice is telling us his ratings are way too high, which I kind of think, to be honest, as well, if I'm being perfectly honest. But here we are anyway. But Pice, to be honest, Pice wasn't even happy with the first half. But I think a little bit of that, I'm not sure if you're still listening, Pice, but a little bit of that was probably that it was very cold at Stamford Bridge and that the mood was not good, with the whole Rona situation and everything. Because I don't think the first half was anywhere near as bad as you thought it was, at least judging from TV. Obviously, we have different perspectives. TV and in saying it's just not. You just have different outlooks on games. But hey, fair. Clutch, I'll go to you lastly on Pulisic before we get to the subs. What do you reckon? I mean, I said 5, Con said 4. Where do you sit?
I want to go with the 5. I mean, I agree with what you guys are saying when you guys are talking about like he needs to stay on his feet. Like one of his best qualities when we used to talk about Pulisic is his ability to turn the defender to stay on his feet and have a quick move and start running at the defense, and it's just lately has not been doing that. That's something I even said like a couple weeks ago. Like it's not something he's been doing lately, and I agree. But I'm not gonna sit here and like try and say it's his fault for where he's been put today, because I know you disagree with this, but if him standing there the entire game was his own decision, don't you think Tuchel would have been screaming at him and Tuchel would have made that change? He didn't do that. Instead, and I mean, we see it with Lukaku too. Lukaku does the exact same thing. I think it's complete instruction to like keep it there so that way your wingbacks can get up there and your wingbacks can get into scoring positions. I think that is the instruction from Tuchel. I don't like this current system that he runs with this one-touch passing. And sometimes you got to change it because the people on the field right now, that's not what they're going to do. Pulisic is not a one-touch pass kind of player. He is if I receive the ball somewhere on the left side, I'm going to cut in, I'm going to make the chance happen. But today we relied on his ability to arrive at that back post, but there was nobody else in the box. It was just him arriving at the post. And he's a 5'8" guy, and I've seen in the chat where they're talking about like, oh, his hold-up play. He's 5'8" and like 120 pounds. He's not going to hold off Holgate. He's not going to hold off, what's the other guy's name? Keane. That's not what he's going to do. He was put in the wrong position today, and the rotation just wasn't there. Him and Ziyech were almost always next to each other. Always, always, always. And I don't understand that for the life of me. You have Kai who moves all over the field. Why does nobody else do that? Why is he the only player that we have that does that? I don't understand.
I agree.
Like,
that's why I don't think it's just instruction.
But that's why I think it is instruction. I think he instructs Kai to do that, and I think he doesn't.
I agree. He instructs Kai to do that, but I don't think he instructs Lukaku. Well, maybe Lukaku a little bit. I definitely don't think he instructs Pulisic not to move around.
See, I disagree because otherwise we would got to change real quick about it. I mean, we know Tuchel's not afraid to just like scream at people. We didn't see that.
Who was he going to bring on? Like if
well,
you had someone on the bench, maybe, yeah, but. Maybe
that's why you got to rotate that front three.
Because if he was happy with what he was doing up front, he probably wouldn't move him out of that.
But we did that at like the 78th minute.
Yeah, but it's Tuchel. He loves a late sub.
And yeah, I don't think it was all his fault. I think he was poor today, but I don't think it was all his fault. I think when you're going to get the best out of Pulisic, and I see people also in the chat saying, oh, if you have Cho out there, Cho without Lukaku isn't going to make much of a difference today. I'm sorry. maybe a tiny bit, because what we were missing is somebody to dribble at somebody, and we just didn't get it. So maybe tiny bit, but it's not going to make a gigantic bit of difference.
No, of course it isn't. Of course it isn't. I mean, it
So-
would help to just have another extra offensive player on the team. One slight thing I slightly disagree with you there before we get to the subs is the whole we need to let them dribble. You can let them dribble when you play for a team like Dortmund in the league, like the Bundesliga. When you're Chelsea playing against a team that's parking two Airbuses, dribbling is not going to get you anywhere because you can dribble past one, you can even dribble past two, and then there's still another three in front of you. So what's you going to do? So you need the only way to beat these is passing. That's why every time we created great chances was when we had quick passing. I agree with you that we're not good enough at the quick passing, but it's the only way to beat a low block. It's the only way. Yeah, if you have a Hazard or a Messi, but I mean, I like Pulisic too, Clutch, but he's not Hazard or Messi. So
I don't think he is.
None of them, like they're not neither him nor Callum nor any of them good enough to dribble past that many players. Like it just doesn't happen for me.
No, I completely agree. I mean, I don't think he's going to be the guy who. I think he's the only guy we have who's going to beat 3 or 4 defenders if we're going to have a guy.
But not on current form, bro.
Not on current form. No. I don't think that at all. But I think what I've been saying about Pulisic, and I know this sounds like I'm making a gigantic excuse. I already said he was terrible today. I already said that. But I think if you're going to get the best out of Pulisic, he is a guy who needs confidence. And I agree with Con. I don't think Tuchel rates him to have that confidence enough. You look at Lampard, for all Lampard was as a manager in his faults tactically. If you look at, he just put Pulisic in the position he needed to be in, and he gave him that trust, and he rewarded that trust. Yes, it's been a while since we've seen that same Pulisic, but I don't think since Tuchel's been in here, he's been given that same exact trust. I mean, we talk about how, like, yesterday when we were talking about, like, yeah, Cho, we need to put Cho in his position for the next 8 games, and then he's going to get it. For Tuchel, he's put Pulisic in that position, 3 times since he's been here? 3, 4? Where he's been on that left side? It's not been very many. He's not gotten that same trust, so I don't understand why that. But, hey.
Bro, I don't understand it either. I don't understand it either. Let's get to the subs. First sub, or the double substitution, was Ross Barkley coming on for Ruben Loftus-Cheek, which, hey, if you weren't happy with Ruben, you might have agreed with. Then Barkley came on, and then you learned, well, Ruben isn't as bad as any of you people think. Saul came on for Marcos Alonso, but Saul didn't play here. Saul played there. Just, not Alonso, so not a difficult to understand. It's the sub. Played here. That's what essentially what we changed to. We are mental. We're meant to be. I mean, somebody said, what's Tuchel's plan B? Apparently Saul up top. But we can't, I'm not having, we'll get to Tuchel in a minute. I'm not going to criticize Tuchel for not having a plan B when we have basically no team. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't have a plan B if you don't even have a plan A available because you don't have any available players. So, I'm not going to criticize him for that part. But Barkley gets, today was awful, man. Like, 3. Even that's maybe pushing it. What do you reckon, Con?
I can't get that step over and pass out of my head, man. I can't. The guy jars the hell out of me. I think 3's high. I don't know what he did. Generally, I don't know what he did when he came on. So bad, man. Such an awful.
You go 2 then? No.
Yeah, no, I'll give him a 1, to be honest. I hate the guy.
Fair enough. Clutch, what do you reckon? 1, 2, 3?
It really says something when, before I do these streams with you, how I put a preview down. I tend to try to guess who the subs are going to be. And today when I was looking over, and I was like, I might actually have to say that I think that Ross Barkley is going to come on. It kills me every time. I have a heart attack every time I have to say those words at Ross. I'm sorry if you rate him, but he's not Chelsea level quality. I agree with Con. I mean, every time we seen him today, he was just trying to run at somebody and losing the ball. Like, he ran directly at people. He never once tried to pass it out wide to kind of get some more space. It was just always he ran at somebody. I don't think he's good. So, 2.
Fair. And we have a 2 with a star because we have to keep that 1 for another person. Again, not fully his fault. All of a sudden, the guy has to play striker. He's probably never played that in his life. Not that I'm aware of, anyway. So I'm not having a go at him for not doing anything up front. I think that's solely on Tuchel. And I love him. Again, I keep saying this. I love Thomas Tuchel. But no, Saul up top, I'm not just forgetting that one. I'll hold him to that for a long time. I'll hold him to that. But So I'm like, for the striker performance, give Saul a 4 because again, how much of that is his fault? But man, like you have one job. He came on and Anthony Barry was literally telling him, "This is what you need to do for set pieces." And again, I mean, I'll ask you as well, guys. But did you think it was a foul by Reece James? Clutch.
I don't exactly remember the foul, but because I think I was screaming at that point.
I didn't think it was.
You didn't? No, I didn't either. But regardless, hey, sometimes a referee makes a mistake. We see all our players making a mistake, so how can we expect no referee to make a mistake to some extent, right?
Facts, yeah.
Huh?
I said facts.
Yeah, there you go. But how he just has no, he played for Diego Simeone. All these people are good at is defending. Set pieces, being getting stuck in. Man, we're struggling. We're just 1-0 up. And you can't even stay with some Donny that couldn't even spell bloody Martin Braithwaite properly. Do you know what I mean? And this Branthwaite or whatever he is, never heard of him in my life. Do you know what I mean? And he can't even stick to that guy. It's just where did you go, bro? So he's getting a 1. I presume you're going to agree. I mean, maybe Con is going to say 0. Maybe Clutch is going to say 0. Con, would you say 0 or is it 1?
0, bro. Why does he get a 1? He didn't do anything. If anything, he contributed to us drawing today.
It's true. It's true. Maybe we should give him -2 for the 2 points he cost us. Nah, it's a bit.
No, that's not. Bro, let's be honest. This guy was earning over 200k a week at Atletico. For what?
How can I make -2? Then I would have to make it. But I have to take 2 minuses, and that looks.
Bro, on God, bro. This guy is an awful footballer. How is he a footballer, man? On God, what's he good at? I don't know what he's good at. He can't pass. He can't dribble. He's got a half decent shot. That's about it. This guy. Bro,
I didn't even see him pass today. I swear, even though he was up front, I swear I never saw him have the ball.
Yeah, I don't understand, bro. This guy was all the rave back 4 years ago, and then he just went to crap. He's
the guy's signed a 9-year contract at Atletico. Do you know what I mean? 2 days.
And he's on how much money a week, bro? This guy's actually cheated life, man. Honestly.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I want to get 200k for being that bad or something. Clutch 0, 1. What you gonna go with?
0. Not much more to be said for him. I mean, unfortunately, I wanted to believe in the guy. I wanted to hope when Chile went down, he had a chance at the left wing back. But it's more and more obvious that he doesn't have the skill set to be in the Premier League. So I just, like Con said earlier, whoever scouted him probably needs to be fired because I don't understand how Tuchel says, "Hey, I like Tchouaméni and I like Declan Rice," and we ended up with Saúl Ñíguez. I don't understand that at all.
I don't want you guys or anybody to just blame the scouting system. I mean, we can say Tuchel lies, but the public information that we do have is that Tuchel keeps saying he wanted Saúl as well. It was a conversation between him and the board. He said yes to that guy just as much as the scouts did. So it's not. I'm not just blaming the scouts. I can't lie.
Yeah, but context, bro. This was given to him 2 days before the transfer market shut, and
Sure.
We learned that Billy. We needed another midfielder. He wouldn't have said no. Why would you say no to another body in the middle of the park?
Well, we've seen this whole play.
That's a good point.
I'll give Chalobah an NA because I can't lie, it wasn't good. So if we gave him a rating, it wouldn't be nice. So let's just save ourselves that disappointment and give him an NA. I don't know, just where does it look the best? Fucking here. Tuchel now. I don't know why, but because the sub was at right centre back, I don't want to put Tuchel out under Thiago Silva like we usually do. Tuchel, for me, today gets a 3. And those 3 points are for each player that caught the Rona, because that's the only excuse he has today. Everything else was awful. So, 3. Subs, awful. Tactics, awful. Reaction on the bench, awful. You criticize Frank Lampard for standing there doing nothing. He was sat there doing nothing just the same. So if we can criticize Frank for it, criticize Tuchel for it. At least on a one-off game. It's not it. I can't be bothered with you saying there's no excuses. Why? I know we're all tired, but the guy gave them 2 days off. On the basis of what? Getting a 94th minute penalty against Leeds? Sorry. 2 days off. For the first time in God knows how many weeks, we would have had a day or two to do something in training. Maybe work on some set pieces So we didn't concede a stupid goal today, man. 2 days off, piss off. Do you know what I mean? 2 days off after what we've been doing for the last few weeks. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So 3 from me, like I said, for the 3 Corona cases. I know there's actually 4, but I don't want to give him 4 points, so it's 3. So, Clutch, what do you reckon?
I completely agree. I mean, you know, as a Call of Duty reference, it kind of looked like Tuchel got hit with the flashbang out there. He just looked like he didn't realize that this is what was going to happen. I mean, we didn't do great today, and I love Tuchel, and I think we should keep Tuchel 100%. I don't think anybody who's saying Tuchel out, I think you're crazy. I think this guy is a wonderful coach. I have questions about, is he doing well enough as far as our attack is going? Because it's not like you can say all you want that we work on attacking most of our time in training. Something's not working then. Maybe you need to find somebody else who knows how to do the attacking side of the coaching part. To me, I think he needs to figure that out, whether it be in January you figure out we need to go and pick somebody out that is going to allow us to change formation, because, I mean, we're leaking goals now, so the defense side of it isn't really an excuse to keep the same formation. I think you need to get this out of your system now, because we're seeing top 4 slip away, not just championship. We're seeing top 4 start to slip away. And we know what happens when Romans...
I think, but sure.
Yeah, maybe just a bit. But like, if you keep on these 1 points, eventually we're going to get to that point. I mean, it's a long time. I also think we need to lose... we need to figure out if we want to try to go for those 2 Carabao Cup and the other one, the FA. Because we're going to need time to figure things out. And it just depends on what we need.
I agree. Lewis, you're here, but I can't see you, so I'm not sure if you're here. Are you?
Yeah, I'm just uploading a video and just
There you
downing
go.
this bottle of Magnum. Can't be fucking arsed.
Man, it's so deep. I don't even know anymore. Like Pi said it there. Who else was he supposed to bring on?
Well,
Don't bring
we
anybody
dead ass struggled against Everton's C team. Are you taking the piss? Taking the fucking piss, man. That was horrific. We do the same thing every game, you know. We just fall asleep after 20 minutes. Every time. Tuchel was so right about the complacency in this squad. It is pathetic. Absolutely pathetic, man. I can't be bothered with this because this ain't Tuchel's fault. The worst he did was bring that Walad Saul on and put him up front, but I'm not even going to hold him too much for that. The rest, build-up play was fine. The patterns of play were good. It was just the team got lethargic after 20 minutes, and it wasn't the same afterwards. Absolutely wasn't the same. It was poor. So poor, man. I can't be bothered.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. And now when you say it like that, yeah, sure. I also feel harsh on Tuchel because all of our strikers are out and Kovacic is out and Kante's on the bench and people saying, why didn't you bring Kante on? Because Kante isn't fit for more than 10 minutes and we had to make subs earlier. That's why, if you want a simple bloody answer. Honestly, very simple. But again, when you have time for once to work on things and you give them 2 days off, I don't get it. And I know the squad morale is important and 2 days off are good, but not when it's not working. Like, not when it's the best thing. None of us want this. That football gets stopped for a few weeks. Because
no, I'm here for it. Bring on lockdown. Bring on lockdown immediately.
The best thing to happen for us because Tuchel can just drill these lot and stupid.
I don't know what's happened, but our build-up play has gone off a cliff. This is more than just a Chilwell injury. We're not pinpointing this all down to one injury. Obviously, it's probably the straw that broke the camel's back and everything. But let's not act like this is just Chilwell. These are so many poor individual performances. Ruben was awful today. Jorginho, fair play. The guy's been playing a lot this year, but he was still poor as well. Ziyech started well, then got poor. Mount started well, you know what, at least got the goal as well. He's probably our best attacker out of all, but still wasn't everything we needed. Pulisic just drew fouls for 90 minutes. Defense, I don't really know what to say about the defense. They didn't have that much to deal with. Like, Everton was sat so deep, and when they tried to transition...
And still they couldn't keep a clean sheet, bro.
Yeah, this is the jarring thing. They need one chance. We need 50 just to score once. But this is also why it's not really the defense. Maybe the defense fell asleep because they haven't had a lot to deal with, and that's not an excuse either. They should have done a lot better on that set piece. But the fact is, the problem's not the defense. The problem's the attack and the build-up play from the midfield is fucking pathetic, man. It's so bad. It's so unbelievably bad. All I saw was sideways, backwards, try and push forwards. Ball does nothing. Everton tried to transition. Thank God it was Everton's C team and they had no confidence going forward because that's all that saved us. If that was Everton's A team, they beat us. And then we get the ball and it's the same thing over and over and over again. It was pathetic. So pathetic.
No, I completely
Start
agree.
to finish, hideous football, man.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Con, I'll ask you, rating for Thomas Tuchel. I mean, hey, Lewis made some fair points. Why maybe Clutch and myself are a bit harsh, but I do still think that we can't just take excuse of everything. You just cannot bring Saul on as striker and put us at wing back. You might as well have put, again, I don't know how many times I've said this.
I trust Tuchel enough to run with it.
One.
He's so shit, man. He's so fucking shit. I'm done with the waiting and everything. This guy is hideous and he don't even seem like he has the right mentality here. He's fucking pathetic, man.
I saw him like
I thought he's getting very close to Bakayoko level bad. And I didn't think a Chelsea player would get that close.
Yeah, honestly, the only good thing, at least we didn't physically sign Saul, unlike we did with Bakayoko. It's the only positive because Bakayoko is still on our bloody books, even if he's on loan at AC Milan. But Con, what do you reckon? Rating for Tuchel?
I'd give him a 6 today.
6? That high? Fair enough, man.
We should have won the game. It's on the players today.
It's not Tuchel's fault. It's
on the players today. We had the chances.
It's not just Tuchel's fault, but man, we kept playing crosses to Pulisic, bro.
Yeah, but bro, like this is the thing. Like we had the chances to win the game.
In the middle. No penetration. You just got Ruben, who's just dribble and inshallah and nothing else. Jorginho, who's like on tired legs. Like there was nothing in the middle. All it was just pushed to the sides.
Yeah, bro. Like if I give him anything lower than a 5 for Tuchel, that's saying the result was on him. So that's why I gave him a 6. Like so, I think he did mess up with some of the subs today. Don't get me wrong. I would have put Saul up top. I would have put Pulisic at left wing back. But it's the players today, man. It's the same story. Burnley, it was the players. Manchester United, it was the players. It's stupid mistakes. It's missed chances. Even against West Ham, man, the Jorginho and Mendy thing, the messing up again. Like, we dropped points by missing the absolute golden chances and then making stupid-ass mistakes, man. And you can't coach that. You can't coach individual error. I'm sorry, you just can't. And I'm sick of just the front three of Chelsea now. I don't care if it's Mount playing there, Pulisic, Kai. I don't care who's playing there.
They're all the problem. They're all the problem. Like, I can't find any individual. Mount at the very least. Everyone else is holding us back in some way or form. When we have Lukaku, we can't play with him. Honestly. When we don't have Lukaku, we miss a player like him. When we have Kai Havertz, we haven't really got enough end product in the middle. Timo Werner's a fucking stormtrooper. Hakim Ziyech is only good in phases. The only ones that have been semi-consistent have been Cho and Mount. And if that's what we're at, then fucking hell,
let's be honest, what does Cho can't finish, though? So even he holds us back.
Exactly. But Cho, at the very least, I'll allow because he's had such little consistent game time in his natural position. It's like, whatever, innit? But it's just him and Mount, and everyone else is not good enough. Not good enough.
Yeah, it's facts. And the problem's just going to keep going on and on because we've got so many of them. We can't bro, we'll be lucky just to offload one in the summer. Just because of wages, fee, what Marino would want. Yeah. Imagine trying to get rid of multiple, man. It's not going to happen. We're going to be stuck with this for a while.
Gotta try and get rid of Werner and Ziyech. Fucking hell, man.
At least Ziyech can actually do something in the game. Werner contributes.
Yeah, but I'd like to see him do something for 90 minutes and not just a phase of 20 and then just disappear for the rest of the match. Because that's all we ever get with this guy.
Yeah, but asking Ziyech to create for Pulisic, who's not a 9, it's a bit unfair because he's a creator.
I understand that at the very least. It's what we're stuck with. So that's why I'm really trying not to just get at everyone. But it was so fucking bad. And this weren't even Everton's B team. They look like school kids on the pitch. Every time I saw them in transition, when they got the ball, they were shook. There was poor touches. They didn't know what position they were on the pitch. They had barely any idea what to do when they had the ball. They made it up as they went along. And that's the team we couldn't beat.
Even their kids are little rats. Do you see that kid? He came on. First ever Premier League game. Comes on and dives for a pen. How disgusting do you have to be in your Premier League debut?
I'm going to be real. I didn't even care about that. If they got the penalty or not, it didn't change anything. It was still shit.
No, it's true. It's true. But two things about why I'm more critical to Tuchel than Lewis and Con. I know it's not just Tuchel, but almost claim Tuchel as management staff. You can see it from set piece. Set pieces, players and coaching. We can sit here and say, our finishing wasn't good enough. No, it wasn't. But under Jose, when we won the league, we never scored more than one goal, basically. We scored a goal today. If we could just defend properly for once in the last 6 games, we would have still won. Yes, we would have sat here and said we were shit, but at least we would have won and were shit. Like this, we dropped points and were shit. So I'd rather win than be shit. So if we could at least not concede from a set piece, and again, I know you're saying we're stuck with what we have, blah, 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 and it's our plan, but if I know, and it's not we knew yesterday about the case, the positive test. So we knew yesterday, and we couldn't think of a different idea than crossing it to Pulisic. I know we talk about the players, and the players are at fault just as much as Tuchel is. But it's not just Tuchel, and it's not just the players. You can't say it's only the players' fault for consistently crossing the Pulisic. Because if it's just the players, why is Tuchel not on the side, shouting at them like a crazy person? If they're not
I understand what you're saying about crossing to Pulisic, but they packed the middle because Pulisic was in the middle. All he does is drop deep to receive the ball, try and beat a player and draw a foul. So he's not going to get himself into the middle of the box in a good enough position anyway. So all you can do is go wide.
I agree, but then you don't have to play a high cross, though. That's pointless. You might as well not do that.
I agree with you on that, but then you look at more of the players because they're the ones putting the delivery in.
Yeah, but I don't think there is a delivery good enough possible when someone 5'8" is against 2 or 3 sets, just because Everton are so deep. Even if we played it perfectly, the likelihood of Pulisic getting on the end of a high cross against players around him that are 5 inches taller than him, is so unlikely that, the one situation we spoke about it earlier before you obviously joined us, but Mason's shot, even though it was a bad shot and it needed the deflection to be dangerous, that was more dangerous than any cross to Pulisic. But we only did it once. Why?
Fucking horrendous, man. The build-up players in the pits is so bad, and we're going to be stuck with this pivot again on Sunday if we even get to Sunday. Because God forbid we put Saul or Barkley in there, then you're really going to see pain.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I don't fully agree with you, Lewis, but it's seemingly people in the stadium have had a very similar opinion to you, because I saw Pi say very similar things. I didn't think the first half was that bad. I think there were
no, the first half wasn't that bad, but it was the same problem that you just can't finish.
But that's
either
not,
you
that's
can't
not
make
chances
or you can't finish. It's one or the other. We can never just make chances and finish them.
Yeah,
I agree,
but that's not Ruben and Jorginho's fault.
It's been 4 years, bro. 4 years since we've been clinical. And then we either make chances and we don't finish them, or we don't make chances at all and we complain that the chances are poor. But it's both. Both are the problem. Because we can't pattern either of them up. Either we make good chances and they don't go in, or we don't do anything and we just dawdle with the ball for 90 minutes. It's pathetic. I'm tired of this. How hard is it to have some bottle in front of goal? Is they just playing hit Pickford for 90 minutes? What the fuck? I'm tired of it, man. Pickford.
And that's the next thing, man. Every goalkeeper we play against decides to have the best game of their bloody season against us. I swear, a lot of them.
It's not just that, bro. It's because they're easy shots to save, let's be honest.
The header from Silva wasn't easy.
Yeah, but you expect a keeper to save that. I expect Mendy to save the shots.
Mendy, sure.
Yeah, I'd even expect Kepa to save them 2 shots because he's quick at getting down. He's good with his feet.
To be honest, I don't think Kepa saves the deflected one, but the header. Yeah.
I think it was going wide, to be honest.
It might have been, but he still got it though.
I generally hate Pickford as well. He's such a mathy. Oh god, bro, I just hate him. Always shouting.
He put his thumbs up to Matthew Harding at full time as well.
This guy's a clown, man.
We shouted Tuchel. We shouted Pickford's the C word all second half. Try not to get demonetized.
Cheers, bro. Appreciate it. But honestly, I'm at a loss for words. Like I said, honestly, for us, the best thing right now is if games get cancelled. If we just don't play for 2 weeks, it's fucking depressing in life. But
that's great for us.
For the good of the results, it's exactly what we need. So, Boris, do the thing.
Do the thing. I don't think it'll happen till after Christmas, though.
I don't know.
Fuck. So we got another.
I mean, hey, let's not get too much into politics, but logically, if they want to worry about, let's make Christmas possible, stopping big events before Christmas is kind of a good idea.
True.
I mean, I'm very sure they're going to stop fans very soon. The question is just, will we play without fans or will we stop the league for a few weeks and then keep going again? That's, in my opinion, where we are. But who knows?
Who knows, mate? All we know right now is Chelsea just can't keep a clean sheet. We can't finish, and we're dropping points. Up the Chelsea.
Exactly. And we're catching viruses, and we're catching injuries, and we're catching all sorts of things. I mean, the most crazy thing is that both Ruben and Ziyech got up. Like, I was already crying. When Ruben was down, I was
when Ruben went down, bro, yeah, I thought, I was like, yeah, this is bad.
Yeah, it looked real bad. And Ziyech, I mean, you could even hear the bloody scream on TV. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I mean, okay, when I saw the replay of CS1, I was pretty sure he would be fine, but still. Pies just said something in the chat. Playing Wolves on Sunday. That means Adama Traore against Alonso.
Why, Pies? Why'd you have to say that, bro, man? Now I've got that image in my head.
Right, anyone want a spare for Wolves v Chelsea on Sunday? I'll throw in the train tickets for free. Going to
go graveyard and start digging. Man, like, do you know what I mean?
Graveyard. I'm just going to meet my guy, sort me out of a nice 3-5, and we'll forget this weekend happened.
Okay, no digging. All right. I thought I'm already digging my own grave because I can't handle watching that. I can't lie. If
we lose again, I'll jump in with you, innit?
Yeah.
Cheers. Let's have a little cuddle. Oh, man. I don't even know anymore. Hey, Big Tommy T, figure something out, please. Like, you're very good. So please figure something out. I don't know if you can figure something out because let's not forget things, right? I mean, Kai's test result. Okay, so maybe we have Kai for Wolves, maybe. But if we don't have Kai, we're probably going to play Pulisic up front again.
Wait, is Kai out with COVID?
Well, they were awaiting a test result, which is why, and he's feeling unwell. So he's kind of ill anyway. But they're not sure if it's COVID or not. So yeah,
why did Tottenham I swear other teams can get games cancelled, but when it's us, we have to play it, man. Like, give us a break, man.
It wasn't enough.
We're literally so unlucky, bro. We get unlucky with chances. Granted, double attackers can't finish, but we get unlucky with decisions. Like that weren't a free kick today, James. That weren't a foul. It just weren't. And of course, they score from it. Of course. Like, bro, why are we just so unlucky with everything? Look, see Liverpool's first goal today. Literally, it was a pass back. It was a one-on-one. He missed the one-on-one. It deflected to another Liverpool player and he scored. Why don't we ever get that, man? I feel like, bro, someone don't like Roman, bro. He's cursed us, man. I swear to God. Roman, pay someone off, I beg. Oh, God, bro, my Christmas, man. It's December, and I feel like crap. Being honest,
honestly. And SA, by the way, if Kante starts, no goals conceded maybe while he's on, but he probably has to come off after half an hour because he's injured again. That's why he didn't start. But anyway, and I mean, again, I'm not going to get into COVID debates, but Bobby, apparently the new variant, then the immunity from a different variant previously does work. Also, he had COVID like over a year ago, did he not? So that's not how long that immunity lasts, as far as I'm aware. But hey,
I think it's 6 months. Yeah, I think it's 6 months, bro.
Yeah, 6 months.
There you go. And didn't he have it before December last year, like around November time last year?
Yeah.
He had it, I think. Yeah, exactly. So there you go. But hey, what can we do? We need to, upwards and onwards, what can we do? We need to just hope and pray that Sunday goes better. Because what else can we do? Like, well, to hope and pray that it goes better. Or that
it's in God's hands, because I don't trust these players to take us out of anything.
You know what? Since Chelsea let me down and put me in a bad mood, let me reveal some Spider-Man spoilers. I'm joking.
Oh,
Spider-Man spoilers. Sal's coming to save the day and the world.
Sunday, all right. Oh yeah. Sunday. Now reminding myself of Sunday when Chelsea play again. Flip's sake.
Is it really that soon?
It is. And for me, local time is already Friday. Do you know what I mean? Like it's so close.
Spoilers, Chelsea come in to save the day, but they miss all their shots and we lose. There you go. Spoilers. Sorry, guys. Also, Sal comes on and then the aliens leave us because they're disgusted.
They're embarrassed. They'll be associated with a planet as Soul, man.
Fucking hell, man.
He actually knows the aliens because he's out of this world, bro. But not in a good way.
Also, Anthony Taylor sends off Spider-Man.
Dodds Octopus, 2-foot Spider-Man, and Anthony Taylor only gives him a yellow card. Can't be asked.
Pulisic also gets a foul out of nowhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to round it out here. Hey, Lewis, I appreciate you for popping in. Obviously, Con and Clutch, I told you guys before already.
No worries, man. This is the earliest I've ever got home after a game. I just thought, fuck this, I'm going home. I ain't chatting to anyone. Can't be bothered.
No, exactly that. Clutch, any final thoughts before we leave this?
No, just fix it. Fix it quick.
There you go. No final thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate every single one of you that has tuned in. Subscribe to Lewis. Link is not down in the description, obviously, because I didn't know it was coming. But
it's cool. I'm going to be utterly shameless here and plug my review in the comments section. So, guys, now the stream's over. Check it out.
Exactly. Go check out Lewis's review. Check out Con on Twitter. Help him get to the big 100K followers, which we need to get him to ideally by New Year, because just why not? Give him something positive with what Chelsea is not giving him enough positive things. And of course, check out Clutch's Twitter down below as well. Like I said already, big up to both of you and to Lewis as well, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe. On the road to 15,000 subscribers, get subscribed. Hit that big red subscribe button for me. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Just helps me out. Just one click of a button. Doesn't cost you any money. Barely cost you any time, as I keep telling you. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea, upwards and onwards. And we'll see you next time.